Hey Dramaverse, it's India back yet again, and today we are going to be talking about the Taiwanese drama Marry Me or Not, or as I like to call it, Office Girls 2. It's not really Office Girls 2, but it is the reunion of our Office Girls couple. I'm going to go ahead and tell you right now, if you haven't noticed, I don't really speak any other language except English. I don't speak English very well. Taiwanese in this case is really not my strong suit, if not at all, so I do apologize now if I pronounce these words incorrectly in any kind of way. Marry Me or Not is basically about Hao Meng, who's played by Roy. He also goes by the name Justin. He is a divorce lawyer who is understandably a little bit skeptical when it comes to marriage, for good reason. If you spend all day looking at divorces and basically trying to make sure that people have absolutely nothing to do with each other after they spent most of their lives together, you would be pretty skeptical yourself. We also have Alice, who is playing Hao Jun, who basically is, for lack of a better term, a bitch. I really hate using that word. I feel like it's dismissive and I really feel like it's completely unnecessary, but she literally calls herself a bitch. She's proud of it. I can't get around that. She loves being a bitch. She has agreed to marry this guy named Shu Hong, who, let's call it what it is, she doesn't really love him, but you know, she's pushing 30, and quite frankly, when you hit 30, you get a little nervous. Yeah, I probably should be married now, and I'm not, and I'm starting to get those looks at my family reunions that are just a little bit too uncomfortable for me now. I'm starting to pull from my real life, and let's just take a step back. Justin, or Hao Meng, is the nephew of the guy that Huang Jun is actually engaged to. Justin is the older brother of Huang Jun's supposed, you know, competitor, biggest competitor, I guess if you want to say. I would say frenemy, but they are not friends whatsoever, so that and frenemy would not apply here. It's so very confusing, but it's perfect for Taiwanese dramas because that's how these Taiwanese dramas usually go. It's just a whole bunch of antics and where nothing makes sense, but somehow we were able to get around to the romance, and eventually you just learn to accept the ridiculousness of it all. So that's basically how this show pretty much starts out, and I have to say, I really like it so far. It's fast-paced, I think it's really entertaining to watch, but more importantly, I think it's really going to be touching on certain things that I think are really important to have conversations about, which is basically this societal pressure that is put on people in their late 20s to basically get married really, really fast before they hit that 30 mark, because once they hit 30 and if they're still single, then people start to think there's something wrong with you. I think it's even deeper than just, oh, get married and everything will be fine. I think it's more about there is this pressure for our characters to get married, but then they also kind of come from these families that have not exactly set up the best examples of marriage. So how do you really tackle how to have a relationship or a marriage with someone when you don't have the greatest examples at home? And if you look at Hao Meng's parents, I mean, they're literally living in the same house and they won't speak to each other. His parents are literally talking to each other through Post-its. Stupid. Now for Huang Jun, she is basically trying to just get married just to kind of get that checked off her list, and I think that's where a lot of women kind of get to. The problem is that you basically end up getting into relationships, or you end up getting married, that don't last because you're so invested in just getting married that you kind of forget about everything that comes after marriage. Obviously, Hao Meng and Huang Jun are eventually going to end up spending a lot more time together because we don't have a show if they don't. It's really going to be fun to kind of see them have to recalibrate what they think love is and what they think marriage is, and whether those things are as important as they find it or as they don't find it. Roy and Alice, they have this great chemistry that even when, you know, they're playing characters that are annoyingly stubborn, or like with Hao Jun, she's just going around and she's calling herself a bitch. By the way, quick note, the way that bitch is said in one of these scenes, I'll be saying it that way for the rest of my life. Anyway, it'll be fun to see Roy and Alice kind of play with each other again. They definitely have that chemistry. I feel like they really trust each other on screen. They understand that the only way to really sell these characters is by making sure that the romance is believable, and these two definitely pull that off. It's gonna be fun to see them kind of fall for each other. Hopefully she will not be such a... More importantly, it really is, it's funny. Let's call it what it is. Cheer Up is over. She Was Pretty is over. There have also been some pretty serious tragedies this week alone that we are still really having to deal with and really having to try to process, and I don't know if we'll ever fully process it. If there's ever a time that we need a reason to laugh, it's now. I hope you have a great week, and I will see you guys soon. Bye. So now if I ever actually run into someone that I can actually consider being a bitch, I don't know exactly how to say it. I'm sorry, I'm letting it go now. It's just, she meant it when she said it. That came from deep in her soul, the way she said